Thank you very much. I'm happy to be part of this meeting and to speak to the participants of this webinar on health risk factors and vulnerability of elderly for COVID-19 in India. I just thought I will give some demographics about COVID-19 in India. India, of course, is currently home to an estimated 135 million elderly people. And elderly people 60 years and above who are at high risk form 19% of the total COVID-19 cases in India. Please keep showing the slides. Whereas elderly age 60 years and above account for 63% of COVID deaths in India. And you can clearly see that out of the total COVID deaths, more than 6 out of 10 are elderly deaths. And this pattern is consistent with international data. 8 out of 10 deaths reported in the US are older adults aged 65 years and older. Therefore, COVID-19 affects elderly population fatally and many times more than other population. The median age of Indian COVID-19 fatality is 60 years. The next most hit age group are those between 41 to 60 years with 30% of reported deaths, followed by those below 40 years of age with just 7% of fatalities. I'm just showing a chart comparison. It shows the percentage of infection according to age as well as the deaths due to COVID-19. If you look at infection, only 19% of elderly are infected, whereas of the total deaths, 63% of elderly deaths. And the next is 30%. So if we put together 40 plus, almost more than 90% of deaths are in the ages 45. In aging studies, we refer to this older adult population in age 45. So virtually COVID-19 affects the older adult population, including elderly. Another important pattern is that the gender difference is also in India as well as globally. If you look at this, that out of the total cases, 73% are male and 27% are female. Whereas in terms of cases, 76% are male and 25% are females. And in terms of deaths, is roughly around same. That means 3/4 of infections as well as mortality is among men compared to just 1/4 among women. So COVID-19 data further reveals that 86, almost 90% of elderly, those who died, had pre-existing chronic health conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, heart and kidney problems, respiratory disease, and so on. Therefore, older adults are at much higher risk. Elderly 65 years and older are even more higher risk for severe illness, and therefore they may require immediate hospitalization, ICU, etc. If you look at this, that means age and aging are the most critical prognostic factors that affect COVID-19 infection. Not only infection rate, recovery rate, and also the fatality rates. Older men are at much higher risk. The COVID-19 fatalities have disproportionately affected the males. So global data also suggests that both infection as well as fatality rates are almost 2/3 for men compared to with about a third for women, suggesting a stronger immune system for women. Age and aging are single most risk factor or the determinant of health with premature onset of chronic health condition among Indians from older adult age of 45. If you compare Western population or European population, the onset of chronic condition is somewhere around 60 years, but in India it is 10 to 15 years ahead due to the prevailing environment, pre-existing genetic and other conditions. So therefore, elderly experience progressive degenerative changes in physiological and mental health system, and the process accelerates the risk of poor health. Globally, 1/3 of global burden of disease as well as deaths are attributed to illness among elderly 60 years. The estimated burden of elderly mortality will escalate very sharply globally as well as in India due to COVID-19. A range of biological, behavioral, environmental, and social factors strongly influence health and well-being of elderly population. I have just tried to put a conceptual slide on age, aging, and health risk factors. A range of risk factors, biological health risk factors, which is age, sex, immunity, BMI, and then behavioral health risk factors, which include tobacco, smoking, alcohol consumption, physical activity, alcohol consumption, physical activity, ADL, etc. And then environmental health risk factors include air pollution, water, safe water, and sanitation, and so on. And then psychosocial health risk factors include loneliness or social isolation, lack of religious activities, or engagement with the community and social family and social networks. So all these range of risk factors actually they are risk factor for non-communicable disease, cardiovascular disease, respiratory disease, diabetes, hypertension, and so on. And also multiple health risk factors, multimorbidity is very common among elderly population. Now they are also high risk for mental health problems, depression, low cognition, etc. All of this is an enabling factor for COVID-19. I try to look at data from two data sources, that is the WHO study of aging and global aging and adult health, India wave 1 and wave 2 data. And I looked at the health risk factors, the morbidity conditions, the prevalence rates, and also the frailty conditions among elderly, and tried to provide some kind of link to these risk factors, elderly, vulnerability, morbidity, and COVID-19. For example, in this chart, the health risk factors among older adults in age 50 years and above, who age 1 wave 1 data based on that. I included 8 risk factors, including behavioral and other risk factors. And you can see virtually almost except 2%, everyone has at least one health risk factors. And then almost 90% have 2 and more health risk factors. And 3/4 have 3 and more health risk factors. So you can clearly recognize that older adult population already have multiple health risk factors. This is preliminary evidence from LACI pilot and LACI data, not the final data. So here also the distribution of health risks using just 6 factors, you find more or less similar pattern where almost 85% have at least one health risk factors, and about 85% have 2 and more health risk factors. Now, if you try to connect the prevalence of chronic health conditions, I'm just trying to show, next slide, please. I'm just trying to show for around very main chronic health conditions that include cardiovascular diseases, including hypertension, bone and joint diseases, diabetes, chronic lung illness, heart disease, anemia, stroke, neurological conditions, cholesterol, cancer, etc. And if you look at the prevalence in terms of self-reported prevalence, please recognize that in India there is a very substantial prevalence of undiagnosed chronic conditions due to either lack of healthcare access or ignorance, awareness, lack of awareness, and so on. Now, if you see cardiovascular, hypertension, etc., the prevalence rates are very high, and the prevalence rates for other conditions 18%, 14%, 8%, and so on. But if you look in terms of any one chronic conditions, that almost more than 2/3 or 3/4 have at least one chronic health condition. Let me show some data from WHO SAGE India wave 1, similar type of chronic health conditions, prevalence rates, cardiovascular disease, hypertension, arthritis, angina, etc. And you will see slightly higher prevalence for example, cardiovascular, hypertension, angina. Here for in this chart, we have used both the self-reported as well as measured conditions. So clearly, if you instead of self-reports, if we use measured conditions, then the prevalence rates of chronic conditions among older adults is much higher. Now I try to link this with look at the multi-morbidity prevalence rates. If we look at the 50 plus population as a whole from SAGE Wave 1 data, just less than a third, 31% do not have any. That means, again, I would like to remind that I have included a basket of around 8 chronic conditions, not all chronic conditions. So out of this, 31% do not have any reported chronic conditions, whereas the remaining more than 2/3 report at least one chronic condition, and more than a third, more than a third of older adults reported at least 2 chronic conditions or more than 2 chronic conditions. Now, if I try to link mental health condition with multimorbidity conditions, you see very strong pattern. So the prevalence of depression as measured by a CDI short form scale, a tool recommended by WHO. Based on that, that is any major episodic depression, that's just around 11% among 50 plus if they don't have any chronic condition. But if this increases to more than threefold, 31% and 39% among elderly, those who have 3 or more chronic conditions. Next slide, please. In this slide, I have tried to show how elderly do in terms of well-being I compare with multimorbidity. So I use the WHO quality of life score, the mean scores, and by multimorbidity conditions. You can see a strong, clear pattern here. Those with no morbidity conditions, quality of life index is much better, much higher. And the quality of life index score, that drops down very sharply with increasing number of chronic conditions. And you can see that it declines from 53% to 41% in no disease to 4 and more than 4 conditions. Next slide, please. And the third dimension in terms of health risk and morbidity, what is known as in aging studies frailty. I try to do a frailty score for SAGE using SAGE data wave 2 for 50 plus population, 60 plus population, and you can see the frailty score, which is a basket of 30 items, which includes chronic conditions as well as other conditions, deficient conditions, different deprivations of elderly. So if you look at that score, the frailty score increases with the age, and women, there's a frailty score for women is slightly higher than among men. But more important to see, this is an overall score, more important to see, if you look at the frailty score by morbidity, types of morbidity, and by age, the pattern is much more clear. You can see not only age gradient is very strong, but also the frailty is much higher, especially for those affected by diabetes and those who have mental health conditions. This is true both for male and female, a very strong pattern. Same, if you look at the frailty index by multimorbidity conditions, again, there is a very sharp increase in frailty elderly. With not only the age gradient increases, but also the frailty is much higher for those with 1 or more than two and more than 2 multimorbidity conditions. Clearly a strong link between health risk factors, morbidity and multimorbidity conditions, and frailty among elderly. And lastly, what I want to do is, so what is the way that we can promote health of the elderly? WHO recently advocated a framework called Healthy Aging Framework, Healthy Aging Matrix, in which the framework talks about elderly functional abilities and intrinsic capacity. Intrinsic capacity includes vitality, like breathing, etc., sensory, seeing, hearing, etc., mobility, movement, etc., cognition, including mental health condition, etc., and also locomotor. So that is that is a fundamental of intrinsic capacity. Elderly people tend to lose these capacity. Now these capacity declines. With aging and the underlying conditions. just this chart shows, next slide please. This chart shows, yeah.
Dr. Alok is on. Just a kind reminder on the time, please. Thank you.
Yeah, just 1 minute. I'm with the last slide. I'm going to the last slide. So just if you look at this slide, so how environmental factors, health factors, how they influence bodily functions and capacity of elderly. And what are the key takeaways from these data and for elderly COVID vulnerability among elderly? This is my last slide. COVID-19 data shows elderly age 60 and above have more than 7 times higher risk of COVID-19 mortality compared to younger adults, 7 times higher risk. And men have 3 times higher COVID mortality risk than women. And elderly, therefore, are most vulnerable and become more vulnerable if COVID-19 reaches community spread stage. Therefore, prevention and control is very critical. Poor, uneducated elderly, and those in slum areas, like it happens in Bombay, are more vulnerable to COVID-19 due to congested settlement and crowding at home. Social distancing and social isolation, both are challenges for elderly facing deprivations, like poor or those residing in slum areas. So therefore, they need care and support. And major consequences of COVID-19 among elderly include rapid deterioration in subjective well-being and physical and mental health outcomes. Thank you.